Gulfstream Park in South Florida. At the end of the thoroughbred racing year just passed, it played host to the Breeders' Cup, racing's $10 million championship day. Now, as the 1993 racing season really begins, Gulfstream hosts the first event in the third year of the American Championship Racing Series, the Donn Handicap. It was the 1991 Donn that started this national racing series for older horses, with Florida-owned and Florida-bred Jolie's Halo winning the first ever ACRS event. Today, Jolie's Halo is among a field of top stakes winners, including the $1 million Pacific Classic winner, Missionary Ridge from California. Last year's Florida Derby winner, Technology. And from New York, Hall of Fame trainer Alan Jerkin star, Devil His Due. They meet today in the 35th running of the Grade 1, $400,000 Donn Handicap at Gulfstream. And we welcome you to Gulfstream Park on a beautiful, warm, sunny Saturday afternoon in South Florida. A perfect place to begin our 1993 Budweiser Racing Across America Series on ESPN. And for the first time in 1993, hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, and what a series we have for you this year. 29 races, 26 of them Grade 1s, and the American Championship Racing Series in its third year is a very important part of our schedule. It is, in fact, 9 races nationwide for older handicap horses. Total money and bonuses, $6.35 million. Here's a look at their 93 schedule. The races in the goal we'll be bringing to you here on ESPN. 2 in the white are ABC's telecast. As you see, we'll bring you down the stretch, as my friend Dave Johnson would tell you, all the way to the Woodward Stakes at Belmont Park, September 18th in New York. Now, the bonus is a very integral part of this American Championship Racing Series. The horses earn points and then earn big dollars. Farmaway won the first series in 1991. It was Strike the Goal last year. Let's take a look at how the thoroughbreds earn their bonus points through the races. First is good for 10 points, 7 for second, 5 for third, 3 for fourth, and a single point for fifth place. For the first time this year, there will be a mid-series bonus paid. After the Pimlico Special, 4th race in the series, mid-May in Maryland, the mid-series leader gets $150,000 of a $300,000 bonus. It all leads to the final series bonus, $900,000, and our 1993 champion gets an extra check of $550,000. Well, it starts in 93, as it has every year in this American Championship Series event, here at the Donn Handicap. 9 horses have won more than 22 stakes and more than $7.7 million ready to run here today. Dave Johnson, Charles C. Canty are here. We're glad you joined us for the start of our series. ESPN presents Budweiser Racing Across America. Brought to you by Budweiser. Nothing beats the excitement of horse racing, and nothing beats a Bud. By Cobra Golf Club, the king of oversized irons and wood. Oversized confidence, oversized power. By the Daily Racing Form, America's turf authority. And by the Thoroughbred Racing Association, assuring the highest racing standards. ESPN welcomes you back to the sunshine of South Florida. A paddle boat on the infield lake here, and it may be cold and chilly where you are, but the fans in shirt sleeves here enjoying a day that had the temperatures reach into the low 80 degrees. For this 35th running of the Donn Handicap, let's take a look at our race conditions. It is Grade 1, the first $400,000 guaranteed. That's $240,000 to the winner. The distance, 9 furlongs, a mile and an eighth. Thoroughbreds, 3 and up. And our track condition listed today, as it has been all week here at Gulfstream, as fast. Well, now to meet the field, we're going to go behind the grandstand, the beautiful paddock area here at Gulfstream Park. Join my colleagues for the first time in 93, Dave Johnson and Charles C. Canty.
Well, if you look in the sports pages, you see a lot about spring training. And this is thoroughbred racing spring training time. Time to regroup, get the stable ready for the campaign.
Well, baseball has got its Citrus League and its Cactus League, and in racing it's pretty much the same. Most of the good handicap horses in training are concentrated either here or in California.
And we have some good rookies in the Handicap League. Horses that we saw in important 3-year-old races last year, now 4 years old and tackling the older runners. Let's take a look at the full field for the Donn, 9 of them. The high weights at 119, Chief Honcho and Technology, Randy Romero and Jerry Bailey, the jockeys. Technology, the 5-2 favorite. Devil Is Due with Eddie Maple at 5. Missionary Ridge, second choice with Kent DeSormo at 3. The lightweights at 112, long shots, Count the Time with Mark Guidry. Pistols and Roses with Herb Castillo Jr. Barkerville with Shane Sellers at 8. Jolie's Halo, a price with Craig Perrette, and Irish Swap with Bruce Poyadu at 6.
Well, this is a handicap, but only a 7-pound spread from 119 down to 112, which hardly overtaxes a group this accomplished. But don't let those low weights fool you. This is not a subpar group. These are the best of the East Coast horses in training who are ready to run right now.
And there might be a few who are a little more ready to run than others. Of the 9, 3 have been racing right through the winter. 3, though, have had 1 start in the last 90 days or so, and that's a good sign. Might improve off of that.
A little tougher assignment are the 3 who are trying to make their first start in 90 days or even longer. And notice that Bobby Frankel has shipped Missionary Ridge all the way here from California, as much to race as to escape some really disruptive weather.
Well, I don't train when the track's off out there. A lot of people do. And all the horses I ran, like Marquetry ran the first time. He got beat 4 lengths, and then he came back and won the San Antone. And there's been a few others out there that haven't performed well the first time I ran them, and the second time they ran, they came back and won. So, you know, like I said, so, you never know when a horse is ready or not, really. And I know this horse is ready enough not to hurt himself. He'll run good, but I don't know if he can really win it.
Yeah. He was about that enthusiastic right before Missionary Ridge upset the whole Pacific Classic at a huge price.
Now another horse making his first start off a long layoff, Devil His Due. But there should be an asterisk there because Alan Jerkins knows how to get a horse ready out of works alone. He's upset some big ones and won some big stakes that way. But last year we saw Devil His Due on the front end. We also saw him coming from behind. Which one will we see today, Charles?
Well, it depends, Dave, because there's several horses with really big speed in here today, and I think Alan would like to see this horse take back off them. But Devil Is Due is very fresh. He's been away all winter. I think Eddie Maple will have his hands full getting him back.
But they all had the same 1 1/8 to go, and here's how the course lays out. It's a standard 1-mile oval, the starting gate directly in front of the grandstand, 1/8 of a mile to the finish line, and then once around. A lot of early speed, so there may be some traffic at the first turn. Down the back stretch, those mid-pack runners will probably kick into gear. Chief Honcho, Technology, Barkerville, Irish Swap, and from the top of the stretch to the finish line, 952 feet. And a horse like Count the Time will probably need every inch of it because he's a real late runner.
Well, you know, Dave, today's race is a real tribute to the ACRS. One of the main purposes of the series was to keep horses in training rather than have them disappear off to the breeding shed, as was the trend in the 70s and 80s. And if you notice today, we have got 4 6-year-old stallions racing in the Donn Handicap, and that's really unusual.
The ACRS is a concept that works, and it's given us a dandy of a race, Chris.
And what a great setting, this beautiful track, known for its beautiful flowers. And with me now is the president of Gulfstream Park, Doug Donn. And you might understand Donn Handicap. Donn, there is a family tradition here that goes back a long way at this track, Doug.
Chris, there sure is. My grandfather took this track out of bankruptcy in 1945, so it goes back a long way.
Let's talk about some of the rich history of the turf here at this track.
Well, the Donn Handicap's an example. This is the 35th running of the Donn Handicap and the first race of the American Championship Racing Series. It's been won by horses like Forego, Gunbow, great races over the years.
And, of course, this racetrack has served so many champions here.
Well, we're real proud, Chris. We've had 17 Horse of the Years run here at Gulfstream Park since 1945, and 104 national champions have run here.
Let's talk about your commitment to the American Championship Racing Series.
Well, we're very proud to be a part of the American Championship Racing Series. We think it's given racing a shot in the arm, and it's a good thing. And we're very proud to be the first race, and also proud to have 2 races this year.
And we're proud to be here, too, with ESPN at Gulfstream Park with President Doug Donn. We'll be back with more of our coverage of the Donn family's handicap when we return to Gulfstream Park in beautiful Hallandale, Florida. Well, we're looking at the paddock at Gulfstream, awaiting the horses for the first American Championship Racing Series event, the Donn Handicap of 1993. Well, last year's 3-year-olds, the sophomores, the classic horses, have now moved into the graduate school ranks, I guess you could say. They've gone on, of course, to the handicap division, which means this American Championship Racing Series. Let's take a closer look now at a couple of those new 4-year-olds. Technology made his name here at Gulfstream Park when he won last year's $500,000 Florida Derby. His trainer, Sonny Hine, was the leading conditioner here at his home track in '92 with 22 victories. But he did a lot of traveling with technology.
Well, last year, you know, we got caught up in this thing, and we went to Florida Derby, then we went to Tropical, and we were rushing and hurrying, everything went wrong. He hurt his foot in a Tropical Park Derby, and we paid the penalty through the year. He got pretty light on us toward the end of the year. We gave him time off. We had 5 weeks that we just pulled his shoes, and his feet toughened up real good for him. And he put on a lot of weight. He's got a lot of muscle, and he's carrying weight real well. He's taking training. He didn't take all the training last year. And I see just a much stronger horse now.
He showed that renewed strength here in his 4-year-old debut in the Broward Handicap, in an effort that even surprised Sonny.
Yeah, he won. We didn't have him quite tight as we'd like to have him, but evidently it was enough. Well, let's put it this way. I didn't think he was that tight, but I thought he was tight enough to win. And he just showed that he was in good shape. And he won. I think he ran the fastest mile-16th run here this meeting.
Among the challengers for technology is another newly turned 4-year-old, Devil His Due, the barn of Hall of Fame trainer Alan Jerkin. Unraced at 2, he won over $688,000 as a 3-year-old. Hasn't raced since last October. Jerkins doesn't seem concerned.
No, it doesn't, because, like I say, generous horses that'll work as fast as you want them to, and we've simulated the races the best we can. We've had him in the starting gate. We've had him in the paddock a couple of times. We've done everything to get him prepared, and of course, if he doesn't run well, everybody will blame it on that, but he's run other bad races when it was only 2 weeks before his other one.
Devil His Due was at his best early last year when he won the Grade 1 Wood Memorial in New York. It was his last victory 10 months ago. The question is, how will he measure up in his first attempt against proven top older handicap horses?
We can only hope and see what happens. We hope that he'll run very well on Saturday, but we won't give up anyway. We'll just find a little easier spot for him or something like that. And I think by the time the end of the year comes, you'll see that he's got his $1 million behind him.
Well, in order to collect that $1 million, those 4-year-olds are going to have to get by some tough older horses. We're going to talk about one of them right now, the Frankie Brothers trained entry of Barkerville. Now, Frankie Brothers spent a good deal of time in the public spotlight when he was training Champion Hansel a couple of years ago, but Barkerville is not yet a household name, but he is an unusual situation, Frankie, because he's a talented, well-bred colt who's making only his first start in a Grade 1 at the ripe old age of 5. Where's he been?
Well, he started out his career in Europe. He's an American-bred horse, as you know, and was lightly raced over there, and I got him at the end of his 3-year-old year. And of course, you got to give him time to acclimate and stuff like that. He's a Mr. Prospector, and he's like a lot of Mr. Prospectors, a little tender in his feet at times, so we've had to kind of treat him with kid gloves. He started out this year as a 4-year-old, won his first 2 starts, and then he was off almost 3 months. Had a little problem with his feet, and kind of got him back going again, and I've just kind of let him earn his way as he goes. You know, I didn't want to jump him in with the wolves, but you know, he's done well in Grade 2s and Grade 3s, and today he gets his shot.
Well, he's gotten a check in every start in the United States. One of them was in the Broward Handicap last time out. We want to take a look at that because it was his run through the stretch. There you'll see him as they turn for home, and he's making a move on the leader, who is Technology at this point. And Frankie, I love the way he closed through the lane.
Yeah, I was really happy with his race. Once he got out, it took him a while to get his momentum going, and of course Technology was going, and you can't say anything bad about the winner. He was very impressive, but my horse was coming on at the end, gathering him, and we feel good about that.
Of course, he gets an extra 16th today. He also gets a lot of speed up front. Technology may not have quite as easy a lead. What are your plans?
I wouldn't think Technology would have as good a trip this time with the pace of the race, but our horse will ride him away from there. If they go real fast, naturally he'll be a little further back. If the pace is slow, then he'll be much closer today.
Barkerville and Frankie Brothers with a big chance to upset today. Chris?
All right, Charles C., when we come back, we're going to leave this beautiful sunshine and flowers of Florida. We're going to take you to Aqueduct Racetrack in New York for the World Away. We'll be right back. Here come the horses for the Donn Handicap, our older horses. They're entering now the paddock. There's Sonny Hine, who'll be saddling the morning line favorite, Technology. We're going to leave right now the older handicap horses and the beautiful sunshine of Florida to take you for a moment racing across America earlier this afternoon at Aqueduct Racetrack in New York on the inner track. We're going to go to the Whirlaway Breeders' Cup. Take a look at the field. $100,000 mile and a 16th race. The favorite is Prairie Bayou at 2-5. Petros outside of him at 9-2. We're going to pick up this race. The call with Tom Durkin on the backstretch at Aqueduct.
The opening quarter went in 24 seconds flat. Robbie Davis nursing the speed of Petros down the backstretch with a 3-length lead. And with a rush, there goes Prairie Bayou now moving toward the lead, and he's moving toward it quickly. Rower is right there running third, then Classy Envoy and Sluice Gold as they continue their run up the backstretch. The half in 48-3 as Petros holds the lead with a half-mile to run. Prairie Bayou took a run at him, but he's running second, and there goes Classy Envoy, who's revving up 3 wide. Rower right there in behind the lead, and Sluice Gold. It's anyone's race with 3 furlongs to run. And Prairie Bayou has now overtaken Petros, but Rower has found room on the rail, and Rower moves on through to seize a short lead as they come to the top of the stretch. Prairie Bayou is right there with them, and they're stride for stride. Petros is now back running third. They're coming to the final furlong, and Prairie Bayou is tested here by Rower, but it's Prairie Bayou by a neck, now by a half. On the inside, Rower trying to stick with him, but at the 16th pole, Prairie Bayou prevails and pulls away. It will be Prairie Bayou to go on to win it here by 3 widening lengths at the end. Rower was second, and Sluice Gold was third.
Add another $66,000 to the payroll of one of the richest 3-year-olds in racing this year. John and Anthony Loblolly Stables, Prairie Bayou, 145-1 for the mile and a 16th. He also survived an ejection. The jockey of Rower, George Chavez, against Mike Smith, that was disallowed, and Prairie Bayou now moves to over $160,000 in earnings. Dave?
How many major athletes can you name who've come back from 3 different, potentially career-ending injuries? I can only think of one, and he's in our race. A guy who had a lot of bad luck in the 80s, but it looked like his bad luck was over, and he had lots of stakes victories and 3 Breeders' Cup championships. But things went awry for Randy Romero in the 1990 Breeders' Cup during Gopher Juan's fatal trip in the distaff. The fall fractured Randy's shoulder and cracked 8 of his ribs. He had barely recovered from that tragedy when just a few months later he broke his left elbow in a training accident here at Gulfstream Park. A break that refused to heal properly, keeping Randy on the sidelines for another 1.5 years until September 1992.
The frustration was unbearable. I was staying up to 4 hours a day in the gym just to keep my mind occupied. And what my wife went through is even more, you know, on her. I was so athletic and activity, and I used to do so much and ride and just like they pull the carpet underneath your feet and you just fall in your face.
Romero has been sidelined numerous times due to broken bones. But back in 1983, he was badly burned in a freak accident involving the jockey's hot box at Oaklawn Park. It was by far the most painful injury of his career. Still, he was able to return riding in only 15 weeks, a fraction of the time he's been away due to an uncooperative arm.
From being out as long as I did, the hardest thing to do is get the clientele. You know, I've been out of action for so long, and it's just hard to drop these riders that have been on these horses for a while. You got to stay healthy. That's the battle of my career, is to stay healthy. I've been through a lot. You know, I've probably operated 23, 24 times, you know. But I think that I have it all behind me now.
And so do some of the country's top trainers, including Frankie Brothers, who's given Randy many of his winning mounts, like Barkerville in this year's Tropical Park Handicap.
I would say I think he looks better than I've ever seen him look. He's stronger. He's one of the most energetic riders that I've ever been around, and he's really done well, and I was just kind of happy to be a part of his comeback, you know, when he rode Barkerville over at Calder, which kind of helped him get started here in Florida.
But Romero won't be aboard Barkerville in today's Donn Handicap. Instead, he's opted for Chief Honcho, the horse that gave Randy the first Grade 1 win of his return, and a long overdue trip back into the national spotlight.
I love to fish and hunt, and I always thought that was the thing, you know? Because when I was a kid, I did it. But you can do so much of it, and after a while, you get tired of it. But when you do something you love, you never get tired of it. And this is my life. You know, these horses, I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. I don't know anything else. And I love it. I really do. It's in my blood.
Waiting for Randy Romero now is the one-horse Chief Honcho being saddled by Billy Mott. That'll be his mount today at odds of 15-1. Reminder to join us on Mondays now on ESPN, 6 o'clock Eastern for the new Daily Racing Form Thoroughbred Digest. And featured on this Monday's show, a profile of our Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association Owner of the Month for January, a smiling John and Anthony. He ought to smile. Prairie Bayou, of course, just won the Whirlaway at Aqueduct. He's our Owner of the Month. See him on Monday. ESPN welcomes you back to the Donn Handicap and our coverage of Gulfstream at the Gulfstream Park. Budweiser racing across America's first event of 1993. You're looking at a shot of the paddock here at Gulfstream. And as some of our horses, 9 in the field for the Donn Handicap, first event in the American Championship Racing Series. Our purse, $400,000, mile and 1/8 on a fast track here today at Gulfstream Park. You're looking at Jolie's Halo, won this race in 1991. And here's a horse getting some outside support, Irish Swap. Let's give you a rundown now of the odds in this field. Chief Honcho at 15-1. Technology, morning line favorite, is even shorter now. He is the even money choice. Devil is Due at 10. Missionary Ridge at 6, coming in from California. Count the time at 17. Pistols and Roses at 35-1. Barkerville 7-1. Jolie's Halo, we mentioned, a past ACRS winner here at 10-1. And Irish Swap now strong support at 7-2. Well, Doug Donn has some good news for horsemen here this week as they have again added to their purses here. Another purse increase of 5%. They've had 3 purse increases in their 93 season so far. They've increased purses more than 20%, having an outstanding meeting here at Gulfstream. There's Randy Romero up on Chief Honcho. Hope you caught our feature on Randy Romero. What a courageous young man he is. Charles C. Candy is down there in that walking ring now. She looks at these magnificent thoroughbreds with her observations. Charles?
Well, I've got Bill Mott here, who is the trainer of Chief Honcho, one of the horses who's been away from the races for so long. It's not an easy task to train one up to this, Billy. Is he ready?
Well, I think we've put a good amount of work into him. We've got some very good breezes. We've got a couple good 7-furlong breezes and a good mile breeze. The horse seems to be sharp every time we worked him. He got better, and he seems fitter, and he's always run well fresh in the past.
And nobody knows him better than you do. A kind of an unusual situation in racing. He's a 6-year-old. You've had him since he was a 2-year-old. This is his 5th season of racing and training with you all the way. Has he changed any? Does he still have all of his enthusiasm?
I think he shows a lot of it. You know, he was a very slow horse to come around, even though he had won his first start as a 2-year-old. However, he seemed to mature more as a 4- and 5-year-old, and hopefully we can have some fun with him at 6.
Well, you're off to a good start with him today. What about your tactics? He can kind of be up or back.
Well, it looks like this race is set up with an awful lot of early speed in there, and I don't think there's any way we'd think that we're going to be on the front end. However, I'd like to see us within 4 or 5 lengths of the early leaders. I don't want them to get away from us too far. I'd like to stay up and have the horse think he's got a shot to get there.
He should be pretty fresh, though, after having the winner off.
Right. He's doing very well. He seems to be looking good and eating well, and we're happy with his progress right now.
All right, Bill Mott, good luck. Bill Mott having a great meet here at Gulfstream. It could be a sensational one very shortly. Chris?
Well, 9 are on their way to the racetrack now, Charlesy, just coming out here. Kind of fun here for the Donn Handicap. There's no bugler calling the post on Donn Handicap Day. Instead, they've got some Scottish bagpipers that pipe them onto the track in the tradition of the Donn family and their heritage from Scotland. So a lot of fun for the race fans here. 9 thoroughbreds, we mentioned before. They have won a combined 22 stakes and $7.7 million. Let's meet them right now. Here's the post parade for the Donn Handicap. The one horse is Chief Honcho, 6-year-old son of Chief's Crown, raced and won in November. Last raced and won in November. Grade 1 Brooklyn Handicap winner then. He always races, though, against the best. Chief Honcho, owned by Matthew Firestone, trained by Bill Mott, and the rider, you met him earlier in our profile, Randy Romero, the comeback kid, former leading stakes rider here in Florida, and has won 3 Breeders' Cup races. The 2-horse are even money favorite. This is Technology from the barn of Sunny Hine owner Scott Savin and the Classic Partners. There's a time for a change 4-year-old, a $29,000 Keeneland sale purchase, a Raddick 3-year-old, but a multiple grade 1 winner all yet, looking for consecutive wins at 4, trying to get some really stability to his race career. Jerry Bailey's the rider, won the '88 Donn on Jade Hunter. The 3-horse, the Lion Crest Stable Silks, trained by Alan Jerkins. This is the colt Devil His Due, a $25,000 Keeneland sale bargain, has now won almost $700,000. unraced since October, unplaced since the Travers last August, but of course his condition still by the giant killer himself, Alan Jerkins. The rider, Eddie Maple, he won the 86 Donn for Woody Stevens on Creme Fraiche. He's a champion New York rider and the oldest rider in the field at 44. From California comes Missionary Ridge in the stable of Bobby Frankel. Peter Walls, Curly on 6-year-old horse. You've heard his trainer Bobby Frankel say he needs this race. His first start since November 2nd. Only 1 of 8 lifetime on the dirt, but that was the Pacific Classic win. And here's the rider, Kent DeSomo, the best in the nation last year, the Eclipse Award winner from California. The 5-horse Illinois bred Count the Time. Confirmed stretch runner. This fast early pace as it looks here should help him. We saw him last in the Super Derby lose that by a neck. Mark Guidry, the rider, another Louisiana-bred rider in this field. Based in Chicago, he's won multiple riding titles at Hawthorne Park. The 6 horses, Pistols and Roses from Georgiano stable, trained for the Willis family stables. The Donn That Alarm 4-year-old colt trying to regain last spring's form, and he won the Bluegrass in April at Keeneland. Was second in the Tropical Park Handicap, then a very bad 7th in the Broward. Herbert Castillo, the rider, born in Panama, raised in New Orleans, won the titles at Calder at South Florida here. This is Barkerville from Frankie Brothers' barn. Won the Tropical Park Handicap, been a very consistent horse, a rich $1.2 million Keeneland sales purchase. He's had a check in 12 of 14 starts. This is a quality racehorse. The rider is Shane Sellers, Midwest Riding Star, the all-time record holder at Arlington with 219 wins. The 8-horse from the stable of Arthur Appleton, Jolie's Halo, trying to become the first 3-time ACRS winner. He won the 91 Donn, the 92 Island. Seems to be an all-or-nothing type, this 6-year-old. He's never had a second in 19 career starts. Incredible. The rider, one of the best, Craig Brett. He's an Eclipse Award winner back in 1990 as the nation's leading jockey. And rounding out our field, another Keeneland sale purchase, $9,000 bargain here. This is Irish Swap. This 6-year-old son of Irish Tower won 6 stakes races in the Midwest last year, ran a good second in the Naira Mile. He's been on the board in each of his last 10 starts. Spanky Broussard trains, and he legs up another Louisiana-bred rider. One of 5 in this field. This is Bruce Hoyadou, one of the outstanding jockeys from Louisiana. Well, there is our favorite technology right now, even money under Jerry Bailey. That's the post-parade for the Donn Handicap. We'll be right back after this with our first Bud Long Shot. It's almost post time at Gulfstream Park in Hallandale, Florida. ESPN's coverage of the Donn Handicap. And here's the latest odds on the Donn field. Chief Honcho at 12. Technology is the big favorite, as you see, 7-5. Devilish Due at 12. Missionary Ridge, 9-2. Count the Time, big price at 15 on the Illinois bred. Pistols and Roses, biggest price on the board. Barkerville, 6-1. Jolie's Halo at 12. And Irish Swap at 7-2. We talked about the favorite technology. Now we need to find, for the first time in 1993, the Budweiser Long Shot.
Today's Budweiser Long Shot is Irish Swap. His statistics say he shouldn't be a long shot. 6 of 9 wins last year. He never finished off the board in 92, and he has more career wins, 12, than any other horse in the race. A versatile runner, comfortable near the lead or coming from off the pace, and with more than $750,000 in the bank. So why isn't Irish Swap a household word? Well, he made some noise and some fans, finishing second in the Naira Mile last October, then stamped himself a real runner with this impressive win in the Hawthorne Gold Cup. In that race, he scored by 4 lengths over a good field, including Sea Cadet. In his 1993 debut at the Fairgrounds, he was a good second. So this could be an excellent way to begin the season as we pick Irish Swap as our first Bud Long Shot of 1993.
Now, Dave, the word got out. He opened at 6-1. They're killing us here. Irish Swap has been bet down to 7-2 now as the Budweiser Long Shot. But that's still our pick. There's the one to beat, Technology. He's the race favorite here for the Donn. You're looking down the front side of the racetrack here at Gulfstream Park in Hallandale, Florida, moments away from loading and running the 35th Donn Handicap, first event in the American Championship Racing Series this year. Charles C. Candy's joining me now. Charles C., some of your observations from the paddock.
Well, with a group of horses like this who are such veterans, they all performed like professionals in the paddock, but it was fun to get a look at the 3 horses we talked about who are making their first start in 90 days or more. And of them, I thought Chief Honcho looked pretty fit. Devil His Due looked very fit. There you're looking at technology. He's had a recent race over the track. He's wearing 4 bandages, notice. That probably wasn't part of his outfit last year. But there's Missionary Ridge. He was... Bobby, I think we're going to have to believe Bobby this time. I think this horse is going to need a race. He was carrying a lot of flesh. Looks like he had himself a very nice, lazy winter vacation.
He is being pointed. Bobby's made it very clear for the Gulfstream Park handicap, but he told us that, as you mentioned before, the Pacific Classic. Well, Jerry Bailey's on the favorite, 3-2 technology. We talked to Jerry earlier about race strategy in the Donn.
You know, on paper, it looks pretty simple. It looks like Jolie's Halo and Missionary Ridge, by their own confessions, will be, going for the lead. Should be a hot pace. I'll be laying 3rd, 4th, but there's a lot of horses that'll be laying 3rd or 4th, so it could get very crowded there. But in honesty, I'll be tracking the pace, whether I'm 3rd or 4th. You have to be careful. The jock has to be careful with this kind of race because both horses on the front end collapse very early, and you don't want to be chasing a hot pace and be at the 3/8 pole and inherit the lead too soon. But, I'll be laying right off the pace and hopefully have enough to stave off the come from behinders.
Charles, did you have a pick?
Looks alone in the paddock and on his past performance. I think I love Barkerville today.
Well, Dave Johnson has some thoughts, too. Let's go to the top of the stands, and Dave Johnson.
I think to win the Donn, you have to have early speed, consistency, and current form. And that's why I'm picking 3 horses. Jolie's Halo for the early speed, Irish Swap for the consistency, current form, Barkerville. I suggest them as an exacta box, but my number 1 choice is Barkerville. Charles and I agree for the first time in our lives with the benefit of the race over the track. Barkerville. There is the number 7 horse with Shane Sellers aboard. Shane Sellers, one of the Cajuns in for this on Mardi Gras weekend. Romero and DeSormo and Saunier and Frankie Brothers, a New Orleans native, and Bruce Poyadu. Anyway, let's see who wins it. Irish Swap, the Bud Longshot is in, and we're ready for the start. They're off. A clean start, and on the outside, Jolie's Halo shows that early speed. Missionary Ridge with the red cap toward the inside. Count the time is right there, 3rd. Then on the outside, the Great Colt, Pistols and Roses is 4th. Technologies, Jerry Bailey inching up and saving some ground along the inside, 5th. Barkerville is next. The Bud Longshot and the red cap Irish Swap on the outside is next, followed by Devil His Due, and Chief Honcho is last, some 12 lengths from the lead. And Missionary Ridge on the inside leads it by a head. And here comes Jolie's Halo to challenge again. Jolie's Halo on the outside in 2nd. Then a gap of 2, and it's Pistols and Roses 3rd, 3 parts of a length. Technology, the favorite, is shuffled back into 4th position by 2 lengths. Then comes Count the Time. Barkerville with the maroon cap on the outside is next. At the rail, Irish Swap. Then comes Chief Honcho in the white cap on the outside, and Devil His Due is last. Down the backstretch, the battle continues on the front end. Missionary Ridge at the rail, and Jolie's Halo on the outside, the half in 47 seconds. Pistols and Roses inches up now. A closer 3rd, and there goes Pistols and Roses, the roan colt on the outside, taking command. Pistols and Roses on the outside to the front ahead. Missionary Ridge is 2nd by 2. Jolie's Halo drops back, and from far back, here comes Devil His Due, closing stoutly as the field straightens away in the stretch. Pistols and Roses on the outside has the lead by half a length. Missionary Ridge with DeSormo coming back at the rail, and down the stretch they come. Missionary Ridge on the inside. Pistols and Roses and Irish Swap. The Bud Longshot closing strongly. 3rd on the outside. Here's the finish of the Donn. Pistols and Roses by a head. A photograph between Irish Swap and Missionary Ridge for the place and show spots. The final time, a slow 1:50. How about that? Last time, the winner in the Bluegrass at Kentucky, it's Pistols and Roses with Herb Castillo Jr.
One of those 4-year-olds we talked about, Dave, one who got no respect from this crowd. I mean, none. The biggest price on the board at 40-1. Pistols and Roses with a stunning upset in a very slow time, 1:50. That is the first victory of Pistols and Roses since he was at Keeneland for the Bluegrass Stakes and won the Bluegrass on April the 11th, 1992. Owned by the Willis Family Stables, trained by George Gianos, ridden by Alberto Castillo. We'll take another look, and he's not hard to find, Chelsea. The big gray Pistols and Roses. We'll take him up at the top of the stretch.
Well, ironically, ironically, he had not been on the lead. His best races have been wire to wire. The gray horse on the outside with the yellow cap, that's Missionary Ridge, that overweight horse who was going to need a race is looking like winning it right here. Pistols and Roses takes the measure of it. He came from about, he laid about 3rd or 4th on the backstretch, and he's coming up here. He has to fight hard to get by Missionary Ridge. Bobby Frankel had this horse readier than he let anyone lead, and here comes Irish Swap with his usual late run. Good game effort by him, but Pistols and Roses manages to hold everybody off. He disappointed in the Tropical Park, second in the Tropical Park Handicap, ran badly in the Broward. Nobody could understand it. Even his trainer was confused. He went back, worked dynamite over at Calder, and came over and ran them down today.
The 4-year-old by Darn That Alarm out of the Princely Pleasure Mare, to be continued. Pistols and Roses, bred by Hockey Alter in Florida, trained by George Gianos, the unofficial winner of the Donn. It's a long time from April in Keeneland to February in Gulfstream. That's how long it's been since Pistols and Roses has moved into a winner's circle. And there he is under Herbert Castillo, unofficially the winner of the 35th running of the Donn Handicap. Pistols and Roses, the 4-year-old, holding off our Budweiser Longshot Irish Swap and Bobby Frankel's Missionary Bridge. We'll take another look at a very exciting stretch run. Dave?
Well, we're going to pick it up as Pistols and Roses made the big move. Missionary Ridge in the red cap at the rail put away Jolie's halo. But here comes the gray colt with Alberto Castillo Jr., who was reunited with this colt today after about a year. He was taken off the colt after he finished 3rd in the Florida Derby. With authority, he takes command. Now, Kent DeSormo on the inside asks Missionary Ridge for some speed. He gives him a little bit. Devil is due in the black cap 3rd at this point, makes a menacing move. Look at, here comes Irish Swap, who will eventually finish 2nd as the Bud Longshot in a giant race, who's roaring up out of the picture right now. But watch the winner and watch Pistols and Roses come on to victory, with Missionary Ridge fading to 3rd and Irish Swap roaring up on the outside to get the place spot in a photo finish. Pistols and Roses wins the Donn.
What a shocker here. The crowd is just still murmuring as they're waiting for those prices here. There you see the winning rider of Pistols and Roses, Alberto Castillo. Born in Panama, we told you, raised in New Orleans, been a riding champion at Calder here in South Florida. And what a thrilling win for Pistols and Roses. We'll be back with more of our story of the 35th Donn when we return. The 35th running of the Donn Handicap is now official at Gulfstream Park, and it is the 2nd biggest payoff in the history of the Donn. $91.40, the official win payoff on Pistols and Roses. Let's go to Chelsea Candy.
Well, I'm with the engineers of this major upset. This is Herbie Castillo, who did the riding, and George Gianos, who trains this colt. George, you've got a good analysis of what made the difference.
Well, this horse, he's been training too good to run the way that he's been running, and kind of pulling my hair out the way he's been doing. So the first decision was to get Herbie back on him, because he rode him when he was, you know, near his best. And just to get a point of reference, if he could say that he felt anything different, the only other thing that I did was, and I felt that he never really got hold of this track the way that he got hold of Hialeah or Keeneland. It's a little bit sandier track, so we changed his shoes. And the combination or whatever it was, we did a few other things different with his training, but it all worked. So.
And it worked beautifully as they turned for home. And Herbie, there you are on the outside, and he is full of run here.
Yeah, I mean, he got away from there, and he just was full of run and going in the first turn. And, you know, we just decided just to sit, you know, and see how he was, how the race developed, and developed beautiful, you know, and going around the first turn here, I was just in perfect position. When we straightened down backside, he just pulling me, and I couldn't believe the way he's just running. He just pulled me all the way to the lead, and really he just hung in there tough and dug in, you know.
It was a game finish, a major upset. A good job by both of you. Congratulations, and we go back to Chris.
Well, I'm with the very excited owners, Sheldon and Annette Willis. Sheldon, you got to tell me again quickly, how did you find this thoroughbred?
It was by accident. I walked into a wrong man's barn and asked him if he had any horses for sale, because I had trouble with my eyes. And he said they were all for sale, and we went through the horses, and we came up with Pistols and Roses.
Good find. Annette's smiling because this horse now just went over $1 million. Dave Johnson?
Well, you know, the American Championship Racing Series is for older horses. But when you're talking horses at this time of year, you always end up talking horses about 3-year-olds, because everybody is looking for a 3-year-old to be their Derby horse, including the Daily Racing Form's Fran LaBelle. Hey, Franny.
Hi.
What you looking for? What's going on?
I'm trying to find some great 3-year-olds. I'm stumbling all over things. I'm so excited. I mean, I want that great 3-year-old for the whole Triple Crown, you know? One's going to carry...
Look at the winter book list. The good 2-year-olds from last year, now 3.
Winter book list. So those guys are in Vegas. They don't know nothing. We're here now. There's some bombshells here ready to explode, just waiting for the races to come up.
What have you found out?
Well, there's this wonderful horse over at Calder, Hidden Trick, won Hutchison. Nice little horse. Absolutely outstanding for Jackie Britton. You got Kissin' Chris, who won the Palm Beach here on the turf. No reason why I can't get on the thing. And Shug McGee's loaded again.
Who's he got?
He's got the 3 we know of. We got Living Vicariously, Strolling Along, of course. But he has one called Recorder, who's already won 2 races and might be the best one of all. Absolutely. So we're rolling on. And, of course, Jack Livingston here in this very barn. Won the other day, 11 and change, like it was nothing.
Come on, Fran. Give me something from the back of the notebook. Something that, well, they've never heard about before.
The one I'm going to give you is El Bacan. The name means the big shot in Spanish. He's coming in today from Panama. He's 7 for 7. He's not even on the plane, not the plane yet. Friday morning he's going to get here. I can't wait for him to show up. The last time he was out there, they wouldn't allow betting on him because he was such an overlay.
El Bacan, you heard it here first for the Triple Crown. Well, we don't have a picture or a videotape of this horse. He may not even exist, but I'll tell you a horse that does exist. Sky Beauty, a filly. Don't be surprised if she beats the boys down the line. Maybe in a Triple Crown race. Chris?
All right, Davis, make it official. Here are the prices. Pistols and Roses, $91.40. That is the second biggest payoff in Donn history. $108.82 mutual return on Mo Exception in 1985 when he upset Dr. Carter. And running down now with the points, Pistols and Roses gets 10, Irish Swap 7, Missionary Ridge 5, Chief Honcho 3, and Devil Is Due gets 1 point. Those are the point earners in the first event. Now the second event is next on ESPN. We'll be here Sunday, March 14th for a half-hour special Gulfstream Park Handicap second race in the American Championship Racing Series. And next on ESPN, we'll go up to Tampa for Cadillac Senior PGA Golf, the GTE Suncoast Classic. That's next right here on ESPN. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of the 1993 Donn Handicap from Gulfstream. Brought to you this afternoon by Budweiser. Nothing beats the excitement of horse racing, and nothing beats a Bud. By Claiborne Farm. For more than a century, a great record reflects our experience. By the DeBartolo Corporation, leading the way to the 21st century. And by Cobra Golf Clubs, the king of oversized irons and woods. Oversized confidence, oversized power. Hotel accommodations for ESPN while in South Florida, provided by the Howard Johnson Golden Glades. Ground transportation provided by Thrifty Car Rental. For reservations at over 700 locations worldwide, call Thrifty at 1-800-4-CARS. Charts and statistics courtesy of the Daily Racing Form, America's Turf Authority. This has been an ESPN Sports presentation. In association with Winter Communications, Pistols and Roses upsets the field in the Donn Handicap, returns $91.40 to win the first American Championship event.